now open up the meeting for Thursday, November 2nd, 2017.
Gary Bowden.
Here.
Frank Ferrari.
Here.
Marshall Goff.
Here.
Ryan Kennedy.
Here.
Chad Sigmund.
Here.
Vice Mayor Malfajoe.
Here.
Mayor Goins.
Here.
This evening we have our prayer and pledge by Councilmember Kennedy.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to come here tonight to do your business. And thank you that you guide us in the business we do here tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening we have a few special presentations. Our Fire Chief Rick Scott has a presentation.
Okay, if I can have Johnny Workman and James DeMero come up. I have a couple of certificates of recognition. So I'll read this and now I'll tell the story real quick so you all will know what they did. To John Workman, Assistant Public Works Superintendent, and James DeMaria, Public Works Foreman, duly awarded in recognition and sincere appreciation for your heroic undertaking, courageous feats, and selfless act to assist and protect the citizens of Clarksburg and their properties on October the 12th. So the story is, you know, there has to be a story. We had a 3-stall garage on fire early afternoon on the 12th. And these two was on duty working, checking a complaint, and they smelled and saw the smoke. So they not only stopped in their city truck, but James went and alerted the people that lived in the house. It was in close proximity of the garage that was on fire. Johnny called 911 and got a garden hose off the side of the house and proceeds to put water on this fire. And I have a picture of Johnny with his garden hose. So to kind of put this into perspective, when we got there, we attacked this fire with an inch and 3/4 attack line that flows at 125 gallons a minute. Johnny attacked it with his garden hose and flows 2. But seriously, they did a great job, kept that fire in check, and you could see by the picture it was rapidly spreading like they do, and saved a lot of property damage, and most people would have done nothing. So we thought it'd be good to thank you guys, and you did a great job.
John, James, I just want to say what you two did was above and beyond the call of duty. And if every employee in the city of Clarksburg was like that, it would be tremendous. So thank you again. And
Thank you.
I second that, Mayor.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Well
John,
done, guys.
they're saying get a picture. Taking a picture.
John, well done.
Bill, hey Ben, you'll take that picture.
So
on
get
Bill.
where?
Can you get his picture?
Yeah, Boo says to bring your families up if they want to come.
Families in there.
Yeah, they're here.
Future Max, you want to come up? He might be a firefighter.
You see him in front of me.
Come on.
Pretend you do.
Turn around. Turn around, look
Turn
at
around
the
from
camera.
here. Smile real pretty, Max. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilmember Bowden has a special proclamation for those here for Veterans Day. Those would come forward, please.
Hey, gentlemen, if you'll come up with me. Larry Lynch, I know. Jim Tarango. No, Tellerico, I'm sorry. It's been a while since we've talked. In the ballpark. I'm sorry? Melvin Reed.
Mike Elliott.
And Mike Elliott.
Paul's back there.
Oh, and Paul Howe, sure. You're the photog. Okay. Tallarico, I'll get it right.
That's all right.
Hey, Paul.
Been a while since we've
picture.
chatted.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Paul, you need to get in here.
Somebody snap a photo for Paul?
Get it up close.
Yeah, snug it up a little. Whereas Clarksburg and the surrounding area has over 10,000 veterans serving in all branches of service from all wars and military conflicts, including World War II to the present wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And whereas veterans throughout the decades, along with their fallen brothers and sisters, have sacrificed their time and lives to preserving the freedom and democracy this country stands for, and so that other nations can flourish. And whereas a new generation of America's sons and daughters is at present serving in harm's way, fighting to make our nation and the world a safer, more peaceful place to live and raise families, and it's through their sacrifices and unwavering belief in our heritage and freedom that our veterans have earned the support and gratitude of our country and its people, in addition to numerous others worldwide. And whereas offering respect to those who have worn and currently wear the uniforms of our military services to remind our citizens, particularly the youth of our nation, of the courage and unbelievable sacrifices made by the countless men and women who have willingly and resolutely endured a great deal so as to preserve America's cherished way of life. And whereas in 1954, November 11th, officially became known as Veterans Day, and whereas the courage, honor, sacrifice, and dedication that the veterans of the United States Armed Forces have displayed in the cause of justice, freedom, and democracy are most worthy of recognition, now therefore I, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2017 as Veterans Day, signed by the Mayor, Kathy Goings, and attested by Annette Wright, our city clerk. Gentlemen. Happy Veterans Day. Here we go. I'll give this to you, Larry. And anybody else still doing pictures? Yeah.
Thank you.
Good deal.
There.
Thanks, guys.
There.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
He's up to 3 now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As a social worker, I thank you for your service.
Councilmember Ferrari has a proclamation. Now come forward.
I'm going to need a photographer too. I have a purple ribbon for you too.
Okay.
Okay, a proclamation. Whereas in 2017, an estimated 53,670 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 43,090 of those will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers, it is currently the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and is projected to become the second leading cause around 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits, just around 9%. And whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 71% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis, while 91% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. And whereas approximately 280 deaths will occur in West Virginia in 2017, including 32 in Clarksburg and Harrison County. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related deaths across the world, and whereas there were an estimated 367,000 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed in 2017. Whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of Clarksburg, West Virginia are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about the symptoms and risk factors of pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. Now therefore, I, Catherine A. Goings, Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do hereby proclaim November 2017 as Pancreatic Cancer Month, Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Clarksburg, and urge all citizens to recognize the significance of public education, awareness, research, and funding combating this disease. That I have hereto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of Clarksburg to be affixed the 2nd day of November 2017. Catherine A. Goings, Mayor, attested, Annette Wright, City Clerk.
Thank you.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of October 19, 2017.
So moved. Second.
If there are no objections, motion carries.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. If you could please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Kenny Purdue, 6798 Buchanan Pike, wishes to address council regarding property assistance.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the mayor, city council, and city manager for allowing myself and other public members to be able to speak before the city council, as well as the veterans who are just before us that give us the right to be able to do that. My name is Kenny Purdue. I am the oldest son of Kenny Purdue Jr., who lives at 609 Drummond Street. The reason I'm here is he's got a problem on his property, and he needs assistance of the city. As we have talked to the city manager in his office, the issue is that there is an alley that goes up there, which is Barbara Street, which is believed named after Barbara Highland because the Highlands and the Brandons owned the property previously for many, many years. The wall is caving in. The alley is coming in towards his property. Well, actually, if you look at the property, you see where the property lines are at. The wall is on his property, and also the street is on his property. So there is the wall was built many years ago, and as the wall collapses, it is coming into his property, putting in him, I believe, and my mom, as well as their grandkids, great-grandkids, and probably great-great-grandkids in jeopardy of being in a position if we're in the garden. The reason it's collapsing is that the waste management now, who is doing is city hauling, waste disposal, drives up and down that street. Now, coming up from Linden up to Drummond Street, it does fine, but once it gets up there, there's too much weight on that little wall. It's an old wall. It has been there for how many years? At least back in the mid-'60s when they moved into that. And as we look at that, we have talked to the city manager's office and asked for assistance. And we were instructed to file an insurance claim. So I'm asking the city council, mayor, city manager, as a help and assistance with replacing the wall so the street would not fall in, and it would stop traffic going up and down that alley, or it would be an insurance claim. So whatever my father would have to do in this matter, he would be glad to do it. What I have in my hand, I've had this afternoon a packet of the same thing that I was going to deliver to city manager, but I've got one for each council member. What's in it is the letter to the city manager. It's got the deed, it's got a survey of the property, it's got some pictures of the property, as well as a cost from a contractor, a licensed contractor in the area to do the work. So if there's any way that you could help my father in this matter, and it is a city street, and it is a question about the wall and which side it's on, but I can say the wall and everything and part of the street is on my dad's property, which is on Barbara Street. So So with your permission, Mayor, I'd like to be able to hand these out.
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you. Just take a look and get back.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, we'll follow up on that. Thank you.
City managers report and update.
Just under general updates of the finance, Teacher Bartlett has begun the yearly audit beginning Monday, October 30th, and there are 3 auditors currently on site reviewing the financials. The crime-free rental housing ordinance that council recently passed is now on the city's website, as well as being promoted through its social media outlets. In addition, a notice will be sent out to all property owners in an upcoming fire fee mailing. Fall cleanup, it has concluded. The Public Works Department collected 359 tons of waste, with the cost associated with that is $13,708.88. And tipping fees, last year we collected 241 tons at a cost of $9,100. Compared to last year, this is a 32% increase in tonnage, as well as a 33% increase in cost. So a budget revision will need to be done in the 2017-18 budget, as we do have the spring cleanup coming up in the spring. So we'll have to do a budget revision to cover that expense moving forward, as that's depleted the entire budget for that line item. Demolition, we did have the bid opening on Monday, October 30th at 10 a.m. We did have a total of 5 contractors participating and submitted sealed bids for the various contracts. The city had 1 contract, which was the TIF. It did consist of 4 structures, which were 1113 North 14th Street, 209, 211 Meigs Avenue, and 310 South Chestnut Street. The low bidder was Reclaim Company from Fairmont, and the low bid was at $49,325. And we do recommend council award the bid utilizing the TIF funds for that amount. The URA had a total of 7 contracts out for sealed bid. 4 contracts, which comprised of 15 structures, were for demolition, as well as for demolition and asbestos abatement. The remaining 3 contracts with the URA consisted of 33 structures for abatement only, and the total funds expended by the URA is $251,710. And I do recommend council under new business, there are various agreements between the URA, the city, and the code official to be executed, and those do allow the right of entries onto the properties. And as the guarantor to the original loan with MVB Bank, the repayment agreements specifically based upon each contract. The contract signing with all the successful bidders with the URA as well as the cities will be scheduled immediately following all paperwork and documents executed. And then once all the contracts are executed, the contractors will then have to provide a 10-day notification to the DEP prior to any work being done. Public Works, the city crews will be raising 27 structures that are currently on the demolition list over the next several months. Approximately 23 of these structures are currently on those contracts that are going to be abated by the Urban Renewal Authority. And the administration is currently evaluating the remaining structures on the demolition list to advertise additional bid packages on behalf of the URA, as there's approximately $148,000 remaining funds out of the 500 or out of the 400 that was on loan from MVB. Street lights. The administration has communicated with First Energy to improve the lighting at the west end. The administration had a meeting with multiple property owners at the west end a little over a month and a half ago. And one thing I did promise them is that we would get in contact with First Energy to review the lighting down there, as well as to add additional lighting to the poles that did not have it. There would be a cost to the city associated with that, but in addition to that, speaking with them, we wanted their lighting engineer to go in, change all the lights out to metal halide, which are the halide, which are the brighter lights, as well as to replace all the lenses that are not clear and clean with new lenses and make sure they're all in proper working order. And then Public Works, beginning this Monday, November 6th, They will begin an audit citywide of all the street lights, so they're going to begin driving all the streets at night. This will take a while to do. We've done this several years ago, but what we do is we take an inventory of all the lights that are not in proper working order, and then we do submit all those to First Energy on a work order and attempt to get those expedited to get fixed as soon as possible. We are on a tariff rate with them, so we're paying for those lights whether they're on or off. So we want to make sure that they're in working order. So our Public Works Department will be out performing that audit. Under Economic Development for the Robinson Grant Performing Arts Center, the roof installation on the main theater building is 75% completed. The brick installation on the south wall of the west addition is 85% installed. They are making great strides in a valiant effort to get the west addition building under envelope enclosed as weather's approaching, so they can get that totally enclosed to begin work on the inside. The masonry restoration has been completed. The only remaining item left is the punch list with the architect and the contractor to go over the work that was done for the restoration for that particular part of the contract. Drywall installation is approximately 5% complete within the theater, so they just began that here just recently. And then 85% of the door frames have been installed. So they're doing a tremendous amount of work. There's still approximately 30 to 40 contractors, subcontractors on site daily working away. So they are very busy. Flaherty, Sensible, Manasseh law firm, they officially opened as of yesterday, Wednesday, November 1st, at 203 West Main Street. They're currently continuing to move in now. A ribbon cutting will be scheduled here in the near future. For council may not be aware, and the public, but also Young Morgan and Can has also combined their efforts with this law firm as well as a consolidation and moving in with them as well. Ribbon cuttings, we did have 2 this week for Detail City Truck and Auto, which is at 322 Broadway Avenue. That was yesterday. And then there was one today at Hometown, the Marketplace on Emily Drive. If you have not made a chance to maybe stop by and see them, just if you don't mind, stop by and welcome to the city. Under Police and Fire, the Police Civil Service Commission, they did conduct a sergeant test for the rank of sergeant, which is given on Wednesday, October 25th. As you may remember, we do have 2 vacancies in that position that I previously reported. 13 officers did take that test to fulfill those 2 positions. There will be a civil service hearing scheduled for Tuesday, November 7th at 10 a.m. Within my conference room to hear any concerns or appeals for that test. And then for new officer testing, we did have the physical ability test conducted on Saturday, October 28th at RCB High School. There were 28 participants, 23 did successfully pass that physical requirement part of the test. 4 of those were certified officers. We will be doing another physical ability test on Saturday, November 11th at RCB High School at 10 a.m. This will allow another potential opportunities for either individuals who failed the first one to come back and attempt it again, as well as hopefully other certified officers as well that may not be able to show up on that day as they may have been working, or just other individuals in general who may want to take on a law enforcement career, provide them an opportunity for testing. Then the written exam will be Wednesday, November 15th for all the individuals who have successfully completed the physical ability test. They can begin taking that test. And then also the drug take-back program by the police department was also done on Saturday, October 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This event was very successful. All the prescription drugs collected were then provided to the task force, which they accumulate all the drugs during this operation, and then they're all incinerated. The downtown patrol, now that we have 3 officers out of the field training officer program back on the shifts, the chief has implemented the foot patrol, which will be on Main Street and Pike Street from Monticello to Chestnut as well. He will be going up to Washington Lee, and periodically he will be stopping into WI Middle as well, having lunch with the children or the young adults in that school. So he will have a good presence in downtown as well. But that begins Tuesday, November 7th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then that time could vary as we move on from 9 to 5. So the chief will be working with that individual officer that he has placed on that patrol. Sanitary Board, the Dale Avenue Sewer Project. It's pretty much completed. There is a punch list to be done with the engineer for the Sanitary Board to go through, but all the concrete for the sidewalks and asphalt has been installed, and the roadway, most importantly, to the people who reside in that area, has been reopened so they can ingress and egress freely from their residence. FOIA request from the Freedom of Information Act. Did receive one from Mr. Martin Schaefer dated Wednesday, October 25th, which I received Thursday, October 26th, requesting a policy of the city of Clarksburg not to issue building permits to houses on the demolition list. We did respond to Mr. Schaefer on Wednesday, November 1st. Pretty much it's a logical and common sense that no permits are issued other than for demolition. Therefore, it is an unwritten policy that we have in place. This actually stems from my testimony in bankruptcy court, to where I testified as the policy of the city not to issue permits for houses under demolition for obvious reasons, unless you want to demolish them. The other FOIA request was from Helen McCrae on Friday, October 27th, requesting a copy of a building permit issued for 2008 West Virginia Avenue on or about March or April of 2017. We did respond to her request on Monday, October 30th, and the information was provided from the code office. Just under the events, the upcoming Veterans Day Parade, Friday, November 10th, while Veterans Day is on the 11th, so the parade is on Friday the 10th. Veterans Day festivities will begin at 11 a.m. at Jackson Square, followed by the parade at noon, and the streets will close at 10:30 a.m. And that completes the manager's report.
Thank you.
No unfinished business. New business. Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg providing for the sale of real property at 1512 West Virginia Avenue, tax map 13, parcel 659 of the City of Clarksburg, Harrison County, West Virginia, and directing the city manager to execute and deliver a deed for the sale of the said real property.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg providing for the sale of real property at 116 Dodge Court, tax map 18, parcel 348 of the City of Clarksburg, Harrison County, West Virginia, and directing the city manager to execute and deliver a deed for the sale of the said real property.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Clarksburg authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Division of Justice and Community Services for the acceptance of an $18,000 justice assistance grant for a prevention resource officer for Robert C. Byrd High School.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the demolition of the structures located at 302 Staley Avenue, 420 Staley Avenue, 714 Milford Street, 205 Milford Street, and 315.5 Milford Street in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 1.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One.
Motion carries.
If you could also just include, that was the one in the work session, if you include abatement and demolition. It's a minor issue, but
Oh, okay.
I just,
Do we need to redo it?
well,
She can amend the minutes, right? Just amend like that. We can
Yeah.
correct the motion. We need to make a corrected motion, I think.
I got it. Abatement and demolition.
Okay.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the demolition of the structures located at 734 Mulberry Avenue, 734.5 Mulberry Avenue, 393 Broadus Avenue, 103 Wilson Street, 446A Lee Avenue, 446B Lee Avenue, 446C and 446D Lee Avenue, 448A and B Lee Avenue in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 2.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the demolition of the structures located at 631 Drummond Street, 208 Grant Street, 304 Lincoln Street, and 307 Clay Street in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 3.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the asbestos abatement and demolition of the structure located at 317 South 22nd Street in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 4.
So moved.
second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the asbestos abatement of the structures located at 387 West Fork Street, 1407 North 25th Street, 2127 Williams Avenue, 1319 North 19th Street, 1720 North 16th Street, 1612 North 16th Street, 1401 Adams Avenue, 1439 Farland Avenue, 1205 West Pike Street, 401 College Street, 405 and 406 College Street, and 914 River Road in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 5.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement official of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the asbestos abatement of the structures located at 340 Simpson Avenue, 216 West Woodland Avenue, 762 Mulberry Avenue, 748 Locust Avenue, 636 Clifton Avenue, 182 North First Street, and 130 School Street in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the Council of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, to authorize the city manager and code enforcement officer of the City of Clarksburg to contract with the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority for the asbestos abatement of the structures located at 128 Denham Street, 306 Lincoln Street, 306.5 Lincoln Street, 106 Kurt Avenue, 213 Quincy Street, 203 Lynn Avenue, 250A and 250B Heyman Highway, 742.5 East Main Street, 201 and 201.5 Broadway Avenue, 112 Broadway Avenue, 1316 Lafayette Street, 120 Charles Street, 137 Martin Street, and 112 Boyd Street in the City of Clarksburg, Contract 7.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award of bid for the asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 113A North 14th Street and B North 14th Street, 209 Meigs Avenue, 211 Meigs Avenue, 310A Chestnut Street, and 310B Chestnut Street in the City of Clarksburg, TIF Contract 1, and to use
Madam Mayor,
funds from the TIF.
I recuse myself because of interest.
Madam Mayor, I move that we award the contract for asbestos and demolition of the properties at 1113 North 14th Street, 209 Meigs Avenue, 211 Meigs Avenue, and 310 South Chestnut Street to Reclaim Company, P.O. Box 2162 Fairmont, in the total amount of $49,325.
So moved.
Utilizing TIF funds. Utilizing TIF funds.
Utilizing TIF funds.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of rescheduling the regular session of the council on November 16th to Monday, November 20th, due to the National League of Cities Conference.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Council comments?
I'll start out real quick. Chad, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but due to daylight savings time and the fact that we want to get more people to our council meetings, we're going to possibly on the next agenda put an ordinance, it would be the first reading of an ordinance, whereby we will be changing the time of the meeting from 7 o'clock to 6 p.m. And that way we felt that people that were leaving work would want to come directly to the meeting instead of going home and coming back. So we would make that effective January 1st for 2018. So for everybody here, providing that it passes, which I believe we're on agreement, it would start 6 p.m. and then our regular scheduled work session would be at 5:30. Okay, and then one other thing, we need to do our review for the city manager. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a form to take with you, and then we can discuss this at the next council meeting, which would be Monday, November 20th. And that's all I had this evening, Vice Mayor.
Yes, I'd like to comment on the Downtown Merchants Halloween on October 30th, which was a huge success. I had the privilege to help the chief, and we gave out about 80 pounds of candy. So it was a huge success. The kids were lined up all the way up and down the street. I'd also like to comment on some new businesses coming to town. You know, we've got Flaherty, Sensible, Benasso. And on my walk today, I noticed that the building down right below us here, Booth, Strange, and Daniels are coming in. And then I'm under the understanding that the consignment shop right across from the courthouse is another attorney moving into town. So it's nice to see us filling up these buildings. That's all I got.
Chad?
First of all, I want to thank Anthony Bellotti. I know in Public Works with First Energy, when approached months ago, I know it takes a lot of time for you guys going around individually for those light posts to get the numbers, and the city manager and the mayor, whoever, to be able to have that collaboration to get more lighting on that west end, which was a problem. So thank you very much for that. Also, Mayor, I think you did a great job with the inclusion sign, we're the inclusion city, Clarksburg. Actually, that was one of the main topics, the themes, when I was in San Diego. So when next work session, whatever, I'd love to do a presentation for all of you, everything that I learned at that conference, because it was very informative. I think the city did a great job of the downtown trick or treat. So I was up eating at the Washington Square that evening, and I saw it was busy until the end of 7 o'clock. So great feedback on that. And but lastly, I was driving around today, and it was nice to see an officer, which I think he's been here for the last few months now with the at the Centra station, and he's there. It seems like everything's been good and no problems. So a lot of positive things. Thank you.
Just encourage everyone to spread the word about Veterans Day ceremonies, both the program at Jackson Square and the parade. Bring the kids and families to the program as well. It's a good way to learn about what our veterans have done. I think we've got high school kids now that weren't even born when some of these engagements in Iraq and Afghanistan started. It's been going on for a long time, and we really owe it to our veterans, past and present, to show up and honor them on this special day. Thank you.
Ryan?
First of all, I'll echo Councilman Bowden's comments regarding Veterans Day. It's always one of the biggest days for me of the year. I always take a moment to remember some people I served with who unfortunately didn't get to be veterans because they died overseas. On a much happier note, I wanted to compliment the city Public Works on the fall cleanup, which was a tremendous success. And also, I'll echo the earlier comments about downtown trick-or-treat being a success. I was there in dad mode that night with my 4 small children, and they had a great time. It was tremendous. So they enjoyed that greatly, and I was glad to hear that somebody's happy that more lawyers are coming to town, because most people would not feel that way. So that's all I have.
I just wanted to recognize, I don't know whether everybody understood or not, but that we moved into this building 20 years ago, I believe November 4th. So it's the building's still in great shape, and the city administration keeps it in good shape. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, what I have is just want to say how happy I am to see that we finally got the demolition program back underway and awarded all these approximately 50 structures that are going to be coming down here in the next several months. And I want to thank and commend the city manager and the finance department and code enforcement, because I know how much work's involved to get to this point, getting the houses on the list, dealing with the appeals, and then getting the bid specs out and so on, and Urban Renewal Authority as well. I'm so happy for this, and Can't wait to see these structures in these neighborhoods start to come down, which is going to really, really a big benefit to the neighborhoods. That's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second.
Meeting adjourned.